Hello, 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 chat. How are we doing today? I hope we're all having a great day, chat. I sure and so am having a good day. But yeah, we're live, chat. Let's go. And we're playing our life. I have not played this game actually in a hot minute, so we're gonna have to play it. So yeah, we're gonna play our life today, chat. Yeah, and don't question the title, chat. I do not want to see you guys questioning the chat. Don't want to see you question it. All I'm gonna say is watch the stream. Anyways, let me cut the music. I'm sorry. I know chat loves the music, but I'm sorry. I gotta cut it off for you guys. You guys get addicted to it. You guys will get addicted to it. And let me pop up the game. Yeah, I had to remember where I ended, which is if that's telling you something, that's unfortunate. But yeah, no. I'm gonna also state this now, early on, chat. So again, we're gonna have to stream Tuesday. I got something going on next Wednesday. I know. So yeah, we'll be streaming on Tuesday, same time. Just because we have something going on Wednesday next week. That really just interferes with my stream, so yeah. Unless no, I don't think Fire's gonna be able to collab. Dang it. I think Fire's gonna be doing like an art stream. Which you guys should go check out Fire. Like literally go check Fire out. I've linked Fire's stuff in past streams, like definitely in the Stardew Valley streams. Like go and check Fire out. Like go. Like yeah. Is the game gonna load up? There's the game. There's the game. The beautiful game. Change the game screen. And there I am. Okay. We're gonna obviously have to click load in. We're gonna click this one. So yes, we are gonna be running through dinner, road trip, mall, and birthday today. Then, whenever I get back to this game, our last one will be summer work, escape D, and Zori, however you say that. So, yep, here we go. Let's go to dinner. Here comes dyslexic Fox Dawn. Sunlight shone through the window as you sit in your living room, your home phone pressed to your ear. Cove was on the other end. Ah! Even though he's literally across the road, like... It's been shaping up to be an ordinary day, like any other. Until Cove had called unexpectedly. He sounded unusually nervous greeting you. Oh? Oh? You listen silently as he keeps talking. His word. Slighted? So I was just wondering, do you want to come over my house for dinner tonight? The question came out strangely, almost like he rehearsed it a few times beforehand. Cove, you sweet innocent boy. Your eyes widen a little. You hadn't expected this to be the reason behind the call. Yeah, I'll go. I can't. You keep listening. You know what? I'll listen to Cove. Cove continued. His next words sound rehearsed too, and tinged with nervousness. My mom and dad, they really want you to be there. If your parents don't have a problem with it, they asked me to ask you. Oh, you took a moment to think. Dinner at home could be quite uneventful today, If you really wanted to, you could go to Cove's instead. Cove spoke up again, breaking your thought train. His voice was softer than before. Also, I wanted you to be there too. Fox dead moment. Can you come over? I mean, yeah, I can come. I'll ask my moms and get back to you. No, I can't make it. Why am I the only one invited? Or did you mean the whole family? Oh. Honestly, I gotta go with what I would do in real life. The decision wouldn't be up to you if you wanted your entire family to attend. You have to ask your moms if they could make time in that case. Mom and Dad only mentioned you. This whole dinner thing is their idea. Even the parents are shipping us. You pursed your lips, contemplating your answer. Ugh. I can't, sorry. Alright, I'll go. I wonder why. I need to hang out with my boy. Thanks, Don. I'll let him know when I can. He sounded notably relieved by your response. As you coming over for a dinner, was that dinner today that serious? He spoke to you for a little while longer to explain what time to come over and the details, then hang up. Thanks. And was that for now? And that was that for now, anyways. Soon enough, the sun dipped out of the sky, and evening came. It was time for you to head to Cove's house. Ooh. After letting Elizabeth know you were leaving, she didn't look away from the TV. She grunted to make you make a small journey across the street. Lizzie, you're a brat. You knocked a couple times on the heavy door to their condo. As you waited for an answer, you found yourself contemplating being a guest while both Cove's parents were there. Somebody's like, who on Discord is? Oh, fuck off! I don't need you. It was exciting. You were apprehensive. The idea made you curious. You didn't think it would be especially interesting. You couldn't say you were thrilled. I'm curious, because both of the parents are divorced. How did they both agree to bring me to dinner? Like, that has got to be some skill there. Anyways, you wondered why they decided to invite you out of the blue. Maybe you find out later tonight. You didn't get too much time with your thoughts, though. The door opened soon enough. Cove's mom, Kyra, stood in the frame, smiling warmly at you.
Come on.
Hey, Todd. Welcome. Please, come on in. Oh, Cove's house looks so nice. As if I have not played this game ever. She opened the door wider and moved to make room. You stepped inside, allowing her to shut it behind you. Thanks so much for coming over. I know it was kind of last second. It's alright. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
Of course. Just make yourself at home. It's not my home, but I've been given permission to say that. Of course you have. Of course you have been given permission. Hey, Don. Welcome to our humble abode. I forgot, Cliff. I mean, this is fair enough that this is Cove's parents and this is the reason why I like him, but damn, why Cliff? Like, I don't need the full body to see. Just, why am I a simp? You jerk your head towards the sound of Mr. Holland's voice. He waved at you briefly from the kitchen, with his back turned and a large spoon in hand. Hope you're hungry, because I'm whipping up a lot of tasty stuff. True to his word, you heard something sizzling on the stove. You closed your eyes and inhaled its smell, spicy and savory. Personally, I'm not a spice guy. That's just me personally. So, Mr. Holland. Was Mr. Holland busy in Cove? Nowhere to be seen. It was just you and Kara. She gave you a weary smile. I don't know how to say that word. He sure is. I can't believe I've been barn. I think that's supposed to be banned, but it's barn from cooking the entire time. I'm staying here. Can you believe that? She nudged you with an elbow. Mr. Holland scoffed good-naturedly, then spoke from over his shoulder. You're on vacation, Kara. You need to accept that already. She yelled back, amused, obvious on her face and her tone. People still can cook when they're on vacation. Everyone's gotta eat. That is true. It's not like I'm some celebrity who can go out for every meal or hire a private chef.
Sorry.
Well, in this house, you're a VIP. Kyra smiled and shook her head quietly. She turned to face you once more.
Well,
Sorry about that, Dawn. Here I was trying to strike up a conversation with you, and Cliff just had to butt in. That's what Cliff is good at, though. That's the problem. I don't butt in. She eyed him, chuckling in disbelief. She wasn't exactly disproving. He wasn't exactly disproving her point, was that. Kara leaned over and to whisper to you. It's okay. He likes to be included. But since Clifford... I love how that's his full name is Clifford. Like, we just call him Cliff, but no, his full name's Clifford. But since Clifford insists on cooking all by himself, he'll have to wait. The two of us can chat. Oh! Her next question continued, to be said in hushed tone, to be safe. Okay, yeah, sure. So, how are you doing? I'm doing good. I'm good. Things are okay. I'm not sure. He didn't really reply to her question. Honestly, I'm gonna be saying I'm doing good. Oh, well, that's what I like to hear. She opened her mouth saying something more, but some light pounding footsteps caught your attention. My fox ears have caught a majestic Cove. You checked to see Cove emerging from the hall a few moments later. He might have heard all the commotion and left his room to see what was going on. He quickly took stock of the situation. His cheek did peak at the sight of you standing in his living room, and his hand came up to rub his arm almost bashfully. Dawn, you made it. Thanks for coming. I'm totally not blushing, Chad. I'm totally not blushing. I'm totally not blushing. Cove's voice was unnaturally loud, as if he thought you wouldn't be able to hear him from where you were, only a few feet away. Hello, Cove. You gave a shy wave, then felt a little stupid for it. You put your arm back down. Why is that me, Cody, though? It was when you glare. Jeez. Why? Why yawn? Jeez. It was when you glance away from Cove that you spotted his parents watching the two of you interact. Cove noticed their stare too, meeting them with narrow eyes. Damn!
So,
Are we having dinner now? Not yet, bud. I'm still cooking. Alright, I'm going back to my room. He turned to leave. He bent his head to the side to face you. You coming? The question was quiet, but you heard it clearly. You smiled, pleased that he asked, and nodded in affirmation. Cove turned fully and made his way down the hall. Have fun, you two. We'll call you when food is ready to go. With that, you followed after Cove. The two of you made your way down the hall. It was your first time that you were invited to Cove's room. You visit Cove's room before, but only rarely. Going over to Cove's room was a standard. I would say, at this point, because we're 13, obviously we were 8 and now 13, 5 years, I would say rarely. I feel like Cove would just come over to my house mostly. But whenever I'm ever at Cove's house, I feel like I would stay a couple times. Cove got to the door first, opening and stepping aside. You joined him. Oh my gosh, I love Cove's room. And there's a surfboard too. Hey! There was a mat on the floor in the front of the door as you stepped over the threshold into his room. You felt the crunch of sand beneath your feet. The sensation was nothing new to you, of course. Cove consistently came back to his room, covered in sand, not bothered to clean himself off at the front door, and got it all over his personal space. That was just how he was. A little bit messy. Hey, this fox boy is also messy, Cove. You haven't heard Mr. Holland ever scold him for it. Not like your moms would if you have done it. You can sit wherever you want. Cove himself took a seat on the edge of his large bed, looking like the picture of comfortable, and left you to decide. You didn't sit anywhere, you sat in the chair. You sat next to Cove on the bed. Of course I'm gonna sit by you on the bed. As soon as you sat to him, Cove grew tense. His back went stiff, and he ducked his head away. He tried to hide a trembling smile. Sorry, Cove.
oh my god.
Oh my god. He said it under his breath as if he didn't want you to hear it. You obviously did, and easily, since you were right beside him. You were nervous about that. He smiled comfortably at him. You chuckled over it. You felt very charmed by his reaction. I would smile at him comfortably. He raised an eyebrow. You both noticing the other's every move. You only shrugged back. It's nothing, don't worry about it. You're like an open book. You know that. You're such a sweet guy. You're adorable. You know what? At this point, I gotta tease him. You're adorable. What? Clearly, he wasn't expecting the compliment. Somehow, his flush grew worse, spreading all the way down his neck. He fumbled for words. I'm not that. He gripped the blanket underneath him and searching for something more to say. He is so adorable. Did you see my fish? I got some in the tank right there. Wow, changing the subject. Cove threw both his hands in front of him to direct your eyes towards his pets. He was trying pretty poorly to change the topic. That much was clear. You decided to show him mercy and allowed it. You started to watch the bright fish swim. There were a bunch of them floating to and fro in the open space. They stood out starkly against the green aquamarine plants. How long have you had this fish?
I guess.
My dad bought them for me not very long after I moved here. I guess it's been years now. Wow, that's a long time. You peer carefully into the tank. The fish looking to be doing well. He must take good care of them. Most of them were small, but there was one especially big one. What are their names? I don't name them. Well, not really. You lifted an eyebrow at that. He continued the explanation sheepishly.
I mean,
Mostly, I call them things based off of what they look like. Squirt for the small one, tangerine for the really orange one, that sort of thing. I had a lot of fish, and I'm not good at coming up with names. I found this to be really, I find that surprising. I found that funny. Relatable. You didn't have any pets, but you always had trouble naming your stuffed animals, or whatever else. It was such a hard choice. Oh, a couple of them have other types of names. He pointed to a small orange red fish. It was minding its own business, away from the other. My dad named her Dreamcatcher. Okay, that was adorable. And the other one, Mark. Mom came up with that one. Okay, those are adorable. Cove smiled to himself, his eyes reflecting the glow from the tank. Do you let other people name your fish?
it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. He turned to you, tilting his head to the side. There was a concerning look on his face. Do you want to name one? Yeah, I do. There's no other way. His smile grew a little at your enthusiasm. Cool. There are a few who don't have names right now. The newer ones you can pick. Which you want to name? He pointed at the recent acquisition out to you. The first was the smallest fish in the tank. It was completely orange and zapped all over the place, running laps around the others. The second one was a slightly bigger and red. Its tail was dotted in the back with black spots, which almost resembled freckles. The last fish was the biggest one. Its multicolored scales rippled under the bright light of the tank as it slowly made its way across the vast space. Well, I did not read that last word. Oh, you went with the biggest fish. Cove only nodded at your answer, waiting for you to decide a suitable name. You watched the fish. You choose closely. As you did, a name eventually came to you. Frank, Sunbeam, Gil, Don, Cove. Type your own answer. Cove. Cove laughed unrelentingly at your choice. It was affectionate rather than insulting. What? You can't name it after me. Well, why not? 'Cause I'm not going to call my fish that. But you still said I can pick it. Cove shook his head with a bent smile. I'll call them Junior then. You could still call him Cove. Oh, it seemed like a good enough compromise. So you agreed. Cove nodded, satisfied. Alright, it's Cove. And with that, his attention moved from you to the tank. He peered fondly at it and its inhabitants. You smiled proudly at Cove as it swam through the tendrils of the plants, disappearing and repeating soon after. You noticed that Cove was sitting closer to you than he was before. He must have scooted over at some point during the conversation. This close, your shoulders were almost brushing against each other. Your heartbeat picks up a little bit at the realization. You know, I'm not allowed to have pets in my house, not even fish. The corners of Code's lip turned down at that. That doesn't sound fair. It's not like fish would make a mess in your house or anything. You just gotta take care of their tank and feed them, and they'll be okay. Right, my mom can be strict over the weirdest things sometimes. I don't mind it too much. I get it. I don't mind too much. You have to do so much for a pet. It's a lot of work and responsibilities. My moms take it super seriously, and that's why they don't want to just get one. That's true. Oh, sorry, chat. Your certain current conversation brought to mind a memory from a few years ago. It started coming out with no warning, earning you a brief, confused look from Cove. One time, Lizzie, or Elizabeth, came back from playing at the beach and hid in her room. She came down for food, but then she ran back upstairs after. It was hard to understand. Our moms left her alone at first, but at night, Ma went to her room to say goodnight, and she screamed. Mom and I went over to see what was wrong. We found Lizzie with a big lizard on her arm. Did not know Lizzie liked lizards. Now, why is the lizard meme popping in my head? Why? Cove eyebrows rose at that, and he leaned forward in interest.
Really?
A lizard? Where did it come from? Elizabeth said she saw it half buried in the sand, and don't know what it was. She picked it up to find out. Then she brought it home. She hid the lizard in her room for the whole day because she wanted to keep it. Mom and Ma were upset with her at her. They worried about putting it out during night, but she was going to have to let it go in the morning. Lizzie was really sad. She did release the lizard, but she wouldn't talk to anyone for days. Dang. When she did stop being unhappy, it was almost like it never happened. You shook your head, thinking back to the time Elizabeth had always been stubborn. She still is stubborn! But when she was younger, she forgot grudges quickly. Now it wasn't so easy. Cove has been quiet for most of the story, apart to the reveal of the lizard. He had a thoughtful look on his face. Oh, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to have a sibling. COVID sucks. You gave a serious thought to his statement before you told him. It's fun. There are ups and downs. You're lucky to be an only child. It's a nice idea in general, but glad I clicked it. But my sister is Elizabeth. I don't know how to explain what it's like. Honestly, I will state this: if you do have siblings, you can agree there are ups and downs in a sibling friendship. It's been fun having her there when she wants to be there, but now Elizabeth barely feels like hanging out with me. Cove pursed his lips at the words, considering them quietly for a while.
Cool.
That's interesting. I think your family's cool. Got chat. You hear that? Cove thinks my family's cool. Ah! He didn't have much else to say. Hi, Audley. I saw your chat as I was mid-reading. It's going good. We're playing some Our Life, as you can see. And I've been dying of saying this boy is a cute boy, and him making me die as well. Also, don't mind the stream title whatsoever. Just don't mind it. Anyways, he didn't have much else to say through, though. While the topic of your family, you consider your relationships with your moms too. Ooh. They're absolutely the best. You got along with your moms. You thought your moms were okay. You found your moms to be difficult to deal with. Honestly, I love my moms. They're the best. Not the lol. You could even consider having another option. You could take better parents. Well, say that you want about them, but at least your mom's never tried to pay someone to be your friend. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh no. Anyways, what did you think of the Starlight Itinerary? Okay, I will state this oddly. I didn't watch the race, but I did see the ending bit, and oh my gosh, Reddick was so close. I'll give it that. I'll give Reddick that. He was close. And I did see the beginning of Josh Berry. That was a major oof on his part. Okay, anyways, the thoughts prompted you to look over at Cove. He probably still didn't know what was happening. Well, no, that happened. You doubt that Mr. Holland mentioned it, and you never had. You wonder if you should tell him it? Tell him. It was a long time ago, but you were keeping a secret from Cove. Oh no! You don't tell him it was a bad time. You didn't tell him you weren't sure how he'd react. You didn't tell him secrets were meant to be kept. You didn't tell him you just didn't want to have that talk with Cove. You decide to tell him. Oh. Oh no. Do I keep it a secret? Or do I tell him? Like, I know what's gonna happen if I do tell him, but I'm genuinely curious of what chat's gonna say. Do we tell this boy, this sweet innocent boy, about that? Or do we just hold off a little bit longer? Because I know it's gonna break my heart if I tell him. But if chat wants me to tell him, because secrets, it really depends what kind of person you are with secrets. If secrets are supposed to be broken, or if secrets are meant to be kept a secret. Why am I like this, chat? Like, I know it's bad to keep a secret. Because eventually all secrets are going to be eventually found out. But you know what? I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna get it done and over with. Rip the band-aid. I decided to tell him. You took a deep breath. Steady breathe to prepare yourself for the conversation. Now you just had to figure out how to tell him. Cove, I have something important to tell you. Hey, I don't. You want to know something crazy? Please don't get mad at this, but I gotta ask him to not get mad about it. Cove's frowned at your uncomfortable tone. He turned to you to give you his full attention. About what? You stared into his bright ocean eyes. You chicken out, never mind. You told him the truth. I told him the truth. Hey, if I'm gonna tell him, I'm going to tell him. So, this was way back when you moved here, and the first time I met your dad, actually. Your dad, he offered me to give me $20 to be friends with you. Kos sat still, uncharacteristically. There was an unreadable expression on his face. His eyes seemed to look through you, and you didn't know what to do next. Then, without saying a word, Ko stood up from his bed in a single motion, and he just bolted right out the room. For a moment, you didn't move a muscle. You were shocked. This was... Oh no. Your senses quickly came back. You shot out into the hall after him. You could see Cove down the way. He had already sprinted back to the living room. His arms were stalked at his side, with hands tightly balled in two fists. He might not have been facing you, but you didn't need to see his face to know how he felt. Cove was frustrated. His parents were nearly finished setting the table. They greeted him none the wiser for what was about to happen. Oh.
Huh?
Hey, what's up? When did you start running in the house? Are you that famished? You were able to catch up in full and stand near Cove. The parents' words didn't even register in his ears. Their child was wholly focused on other matter. He was particularly shaking. Cove took one more step forward and glared at his father's face. Oh, you paid Dawn to be friends with me? Mr. Holland froze. Sorry, I couldn't hold it in. He looked like a helpless deer caught in the headlights.
Seriously?
Clifford, are you serious? He whipped his head towards Kara. His eyes wide and blinked rapidly. It was only one time. The admission elected an exhaust expression from his ex-wife. Mr. Holland raised his hand up and gestured defensively. It seemed like a good idea when it happened. She covered her eyes with one hand. It was clear that her patience was frayed, but she was not so shocked anymore. Mr. Holland bowed his head, rubbing the back of his neck guilty. The fact that she accepted this as something he would do easily seemed to be the most crushing part. Ow. Cove just stood there, fuming silently. During their little aside, his eyebrows frowned painfully and his eyes trembled. You felt bad for Cove, you felt bad for Mr. Holland, you felt bad for Kyra, I felt bad for myself, I felt bad for everybody. you thought this was uncomfortable. I honestly do feel bad for everybody. Everyone had no part of this to be in this situation, but I put myself in this situation because I want trauma. None of this was good at all. It was terrible. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, but must have been only minutes, the tense silence was broken by Cove. I don't want to stay here. And that immediately caught his parents' attention. They turned to him with twin expressions of worry. Hey, wait a minute, bud. You don't have to do that.
It's all right.
There's still your room. We'll stay out of your way, I promise. Where could you go at this time of day? It's almost night.
No.
I can stay with Dawn. He stormed out of the house without waiting for another response. You jumped as the door slammed closed behind him. I'm going to immediately follow after Cole. You didn't even take time to say something to his stunned parents. You ran after Cove, shutting the door more softly behind you as you left. You spotted him easily. Cove hadn't made it far. He just reached the middle of the road. Could you stop for a second? You might as well have said nothing. Cove didn't look back, nor did he answer you. Cove stomped forward, going across the street, without hesitation, towards your house. It didn't take long to approach the front door. You left it unlocked, so he yanked it open and went inside with you. By then, night fully came. The two of you stood tensely together in the middle of your living room. The night already has gone as you imagined it would. Hadn't gone as you imagined it would. At least Elizabeth wasn't around and your moms were out. So you had no idea how you could have explained the situation to them. And you were sure Cove wouldn't have been up for that. He watched you from a distance. His expression wasn't hostile, but was not exactly welcoming either. I'm really sorry, Cove. I have to say it. I have to apologize. Cove shifted so his back was to you. Then he crossed his arm over his chest. Are you mad at me? You were surprised. He actually responded. What? No.
It's okay.
I just wish I'd known before, but I guess there's never really a good time to bring up something like that. You're not the one who did it anyway. Anything. His tone was clipped and insulting, though it was now fully clear that none of the negativity was towards you. And we were actually friends, aren't we? It doesn't matter if you took it or not. You wouldn't pretend for years just because of Dad's money. I'm gonna cry, chat. You nodded your head furiously at that. If there was one thing you didn't want this revelation to do, it was to weaken your relationship. Of course, we're friends. Ouch, I just friend-zoned him. Cove seemed to anticipate your reassurance. The frown in his brow eased a little. Yeah, we are. I'm definitely not mad at you. I should thank you for not letting him get to you and for telling me it happened. My dad never would. He's always like that. He just does things. He does things and doesn't ask or tell me about it or anything. Damn, why do I feel like I relate to Ko so much with my own father? Ko threw his arms out, in his features twisted in frustration. There's all there's already was the thing with there was already was the thing with my mom coming to be staying with us for the summer out of nowhere, and that was supposed to be a surprise I find out about. Who knows what other things he's done that I never heard of. He even know how to think about what someone else might actually want? He paused to take a panting breath. Scowl. You listen. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. You're right, it was terrible. It could be worse. Even if it didn't go well, your dad only tried to make you happy. What do I say? I would probably state that his dad is just trying to make him. His eyes narrowed. You're right. The worst part is, I know he doesn't do stuff for himself. He does things because he wants to make people happy. Cove blinked rapidly, and he noticed tears were gathered in his eyes. When he spoke again, his voice was heavy with emotion. But he just makes everything worse. And then he's really sorry, and it's like it's your fault for not being happy that he was at least trying. And what if all his plans and always being so pushy did change things? What things? Ko finally met your gaze, his bottom lip trembling. You realize then that he was referring to you and him. What if what he did made you stay away from me before we even got to know each other? His voice cracked as he forced himself to speak through the tears that began to fall in earnest. He did everything he could to say it, but the words were barely a whisper. Ton, you were the best thing about coming here. I just want to give him a hug. Cove was honestly terrified over the idea that there was a chance that the two of you might not have what you do. You step forward, I think his hand on his shoulder. You hug him, you smile reassuringly, and you wipe his tear. I give him a hug. He needs a hug. Cove readily accepted the embrace. He wrapped his arms around you in return. The grip was firm. I'm really glad we're friends. Please don't cry. Hey, don't worry about it, alright? You did need to say anything. I would have let anything your dad or anyone else did mess up. His features crumpled at your words. More tears tried to fall down his cheeks, but he stubbornly blinked them away. You remain like that for just a little while. Then he scrambled his eyes with the back of one hand. His gaze turned away from you, growing distance. He's like that with my mom too. The anger he had begun to release bubbled back to the surface. Dad wants to make people happy, but he doesn't. The words landed scarily hard. You were certain it crushed Mr. Holland if he heard them. Oh. You never know how much about. You never know much about his parents' relationship, but you thought you understood it a bit better now. I'm really sorry. You don't actually mean what you're saying. Do you hate your dad? I'm here for you. You felt bad. You felt bad that things were so hard for Cove and his dad. You didn't say anything. I'm here for you. Cove just looked at the ground. As the two of you were startled by the quiet, a thought came across your mind, abrupt and sudden. I remember that day when it happened, or what about your fish? You ran to the hills behind the house, and Mr. Olin wanted you to come back while my mom's checked the park for you. That was when I met you for the first time. After he talked to me about you, Cove lifted his eyes just enough to see you. His hand remained low. I remember too. When we first moved to Sunset Bird, I felt like I lost my whole life. Maybe that's why he wanted you to help you start a life here so much better. His brows scrunched up, and he seemed to on the verge of tears once more. It was obvious Cove didn't want to think about his dad that way, but it was also hard not to right now. He must be conflicted over where to go from here. Your dad still needs to stop being so forceful, though. You might feel better than you do if you just try to make up with your dad. You guys really need to learn how to communicate. I'll be on your side no matter what what you do about your dad. I'm gonna be on his side. I'm gonna reassure that I'm always in his corner. Cove smiled thoughtfully. He didn't say anything, but you had a feeling he appreciated the support. I'm going back home. His face was set in determination. There was no way you could tell him to do anything else, even if you wanted to. So you only nodded.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Don. And I'm sorry about this. Can I come with you? Yeah. Why wouldn't you go? You smiled lightly. Just checking. Cove nodded and headed outside. You followed behind him. Once again, the two of you made your way across the street towards his house. He didn't pause at the door. He just opened it wide and went in. Cove's parents, sitting at the table, their heads bowed in silence between them. They snapped over at the sound of the door, relieved to see Cove's return. Mr. Hove stood up, so silently, his chair squealed across the floor.
Cove?
Cove? Kira got out of her chair as well, but less dramatically. How are you feeling, baby? I want to talk to you. His parents looked over at him, their features soft. Cove instead stuck a glance at you. You were glad that you could be there for him? You suddenly felt like you shouldn't be there. I've gotta be there. I have to be there for my man. You stared back solidly, hoping you could convey your support with your eyes. It must have worked because Cove stood up a bit straighter. Cove then fully faced his parents. Mr. Holland stepped forward, cautiously, his expression twisting in dismay. I am so sorry. I should have never done something so stupid. Are you crying, Don? No, I'm not, but it sounds like I am. This is just like a wholesome moment, okay? So if it does sound like I'm crying, It's just a wholesome moment. I'm not crying, I swear, officer. It's a touching story, and I did do the whole tell Cove about Mr. Holland being, here's $20, kid. Um, it's okay. It really isn't that was a boneheaded move. If you ever moved, if ever, there was one. I was bribing an actual child, one I didn't never met before that day. Cove almost cracked a smile, though he quickly regained his composure. Then, it isn't, but I wanted things to be okay anyways.
I'm sorry.
I can't take it anymore. Cove, I'm sorry. Kyra placed a hand on Mr. Holmes' shoulder. Your dad doesn't believe there's something wrong with you or that you can't make your own friends. He can explain.
I know.
It's bad that my heart can't take this. This family is wholesome, and it's unfortunate the parents are divorced, but still, this family is wholesome. I know why Dad did it. He wanted me to be happy. That's all. He didn't think it would be like this. It was an accident. Kara sighed heavily. A sad smile appeared on her lips. You're very grown up, Cove. He is. My heart can't take it anymore. Mr. Holland brought his hands up against his forehead and began to pace around the room. He didn't seem to know what to do with himself. Jeez. God, why? Yeah. He turned back around to face Cove and Kyra. He looked more sullen than you ever seen him. I'm not going to do it again. I haven't done it again. Haven't tried to bribe more people or haven't continued stepping over a line without registering it. Oof. He let out a heavy breath before shrinking down a little. It was impressive, because he was pretty tall.
I'm trying.
I know, I don't know, but I don't think so. Cove's throat bobbed as he swallowed thickly. He looked like he was trying to gather all his courage. When he spoke up, his voice was small but firm. That's not R, that's you. You inviting Mom here? His dad's eyes widened. Cove was already had a talk he had put off before. You didn't ask me if I wanted things to be like this. With both of you together again for just a little while. Mr. Holland's hand slowly returned to his forehead. He was done, as if someone had just hit him. I did it again, and I didn't even notice. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just do something right? At least Cove seemed relieved that he was able to say what he felt. You knew how long he's been holding that in. It was quite a long stretch. Mr. Holland had sat down in a chair, his shoulders dropped and his head in his hands. You look to Cove. He watched his dad and how genuinely he was struggling with what he has been told. Cove glanced down at the ground, then looked back at his dad. I'm not angry anymore. Slowly, Mr. Holland met his son's eyes. I can try to talk to you about things and what I feel about stuff. I stopped saying that to you since everything happened. I didn't want to talk to you, but you know, you would have guessed if you know. Aw. Mr. Holland broke eye contact at that, shaking his head.
God.
My child. My child shouldn't have to take care of me. You shouldn't have to make up for my shortcomings. Cove, I can fix things. I can still change. Sure, Dad. But in all seriousness, I do think he can change. After having something of an outburst, Mr. Holland turned his face away and spoke more genuinely. Besides, I'm used to that already. I might not get it right, but not a damn thing would happen in what's left in this family. If I wasn't making the effort, it's always me. What's one more thing to manage? Dad.
I see.
You're right, Cliff. I know. But I don't think Cove wants to take care of you. He just wants to understand. And he wants his dad to understand too. That's what matters, isn't it? It was still, as Mr. Holland discussed it with Kara. As it was still as Mr. Holland disgusted with Kara said, he stared down his empty hands and held out in front of him. When he looked at Cove again, tiny tears glimmered in the corner of his eyes. Oh, it's just now the two of them. He got up, crossed the room to his side. Cove didn't move or look away. He was, as he approached. Mama, I can totally English chat. Mr. Holland set his hands on Cove's shoulder. The touch firm. He browed his brows. But you and I are going to have to talk about every single thought that ever pops into our heads for the rest of your life. Damn! He shook Cove forward and back in a bit. Tears slipped down Cove's cheeks. But he was smiling.
What?
No, I don't want that! Mr. Holland began to smile too. It trembled at the corners, but it was genuine. I'm afraid that's the only way. Oh no. Kara chuckled, even as she blinked away her own tears. Mr. Holland turned towards her. You better not think you can get away from this, Kara. The same is going to apply to you. You can't. This family's wholesome. He let go of Cove with one hand, while he placed his other arm around Cove's shoulder. Then he faced Kara.
Absolutely.
Oh yes, I can. He continued to talk as he walked in her direction, bringing Cove along with him. Look at that family photo. Oh my gosh. Then father and son standing in front of her. Mr. Holland put his other arm around her. Now he had both of them in his arms. If you think the ideas that I can actually go with are bad, you two are going to be amazed by the thoughts I can decide against all of my own. Kira jokingly cringed at the concept. Ko smiled tearfully. up at his parents. Thanks, Dad.
I'm so glad.
Thank you, son. Look at this family photo. Although it's okay, I was gonna. They blink all at the same time. That's so weird sometimes. But hey, you know what I'm thinking now? Cove wiped his face with the back of his hand. Shook his head. God, no. You're incomprehensible maniac. Mr. Holland laughed, not dissipating her words. I'm thinking we should eat that dinner. I painstakingly made it salvageable. Just gotta heat it back up. Kara sighed in exhaustive relief. Sweet. It is sweet! And I'm gonna be a part of this family eventually. That we can manage, right, Cove? Yeah. Great. We're making progress already.
Well,
Though I don't even know how I'm going to start making this up to Dawn. Carrying that secret for all this time must have been quite a burden to bear. $20 is not nearly enough for all the hubbub. You don't need to have to do anything. Nonsense. I or we will work on it. Okay. Cove dug his head and spoke towards you. There was a tiny smile on his face. Do you want to stay for dinner still? You nodded softly. They blinked at the same time! Ah! Creepy! Mr. Holland finally let go of his family. Kara patted him on the back with a content sigh. You're very good boys. I'm so lucky. Oh, Mr. Holland's now blushing. Oh, both of them are blushing. I just noticed that. Cove sigh rubbed his arm while Mr. Holland rubbed his neck. Neither could have made eye contact out of bashfulness. In that moment, they really did seem like father and son. Cove's family was nice. You thought to yourself, you were glad that you got to come over. And that was dinner! Trauma. But having noises. We are gonna go on road trip. We're gonna have a road trip. So to the road trip. Even though you were awake, the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon, and sky above it's still dark, though lighting by the minute. Usually you wouldn't be up so early, especially during summer vacation, but today was different. Today, instead of the lazy days you were used to, everything around you was a flurry of activities as both your family and Coves prepare for what lays ahead. Prepare because parked in the street just outside your house was a massive RV camper, so big you couldn't even see Cove's house behind it. Let's hope we don't run over a deer on the road trip. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think there's gonna be a flustered Cove though. Reading skills is just something. Oh my gosh, everyone's showing up. Hi Fire and hi Link. Oh no, I'm gonna get bullied by Link for my reading skills. Reed killed is just some dinner. Anyways, I'm still laughing over that. Thanks, Fire, for giving me that. Link's just like, hi, Fire. Anyways, his parents had rented the RV for a few days to take him on a short road trip to see the Redwood National Park. I apparently can't spell though. Yeah, no, you spelled my name as Din. Din. That's my name now. Din. Yes, I'm Din. Anywhoosie. You glance at Cove, who was standing nearby taking in the scene in front of him. I'm gonna disappear. Just came in to say, yeah, that's what you normally do, Fire. I know that's what you do. This prospect of the trip had to be a mixed bag for him, but it was only 3 days, so it seemed like he was dealing with it as best as he could. Especially now that you and your family were joining them. You weren't sure how excited. Is that exactly? I think so. It happened. You knew your parents and Coves spoke to each other often. And somewhere along the way, plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. The parents, although it was a fantastic idea, you had already gotten a good look inside while helping to load everything in. And you had to admit, while it was a really big car fitting as not many people inside, was going to be snug.
Let's go.
Move it or lose it, kiddos. Mom bustled past with a cooler in one hand and a large bottle of water under the other. She was upbeat for this early in the morning. Man, you lonely fox. Shut up, Link. Ma, however, seemed to be on the other side of the wavelength. She followed behind her wife, dragging her feet on every step. I'm going to need a whole jug of coffee once we hit the road. You couldn't relate to Mom. It was way too early. Personally, you were that's raring as your mom. You felt like the middle ground of those two. I'm with Ma here. I'm with Ma. It's too early. You yawn and rub your eyes. Still sleepy from the early morning wake-up call. The air outside was still damp with dew, and that helped make you a bit more alert. Oh no, it's a brat. It's my bratty of a sister. And when the end of the chain came, your sister, she had a bone to pick before the trip. Aren't we all though? Damn. Yep. She had a bone to pick before the trip officially started. Her off clips criterias. I think that's criterias. Ideas added some level of normality to everything new going on. I don't get why I can't sleep in the bed tonight. Dawn is the youngest, and I'll never fall asleep in that loft. Damn, girl. We're trying to make things fair on everyone. If you want to play the older card, you shouldn't be offering to take the loft both nights. It's important for big siblings to make sacrifices for the younger ones. Oh damn, it's a brat. That's a mood. Link's like, that's a mood. Elizabeth huffed, not happy with the answer in the slightest, and folded her arms, leaning back against the side of the RV. The trip plans was even nailed down prior. The sleeping arrangements include still Elizabeth still held her on her objections with them. There was the main area of the RV with the couch loft and some floor space at the end of the car was a room with a large bed. It is a okay, good to note. Your mom were sharing the bed. Kara was on the couch, and father and son intend to sleeping on the floor. The adults determined you and Elizabeth would switch between the small loaf above the driver's seat and sharing the beds with mom. Also, I just woke up now to call you a dumb fuck. I'm not that surprised, Link. I will be brutally honest. Because we were both on call at like what, 4 in the morning. Somehow I got up earlier than you. You were flying with a sleeping arrangement. You were excited to sleep in the loft. You felt like sharing the bed with your parents was going to be awkward. You were looking forward to sleeping over with a sleepover with your moms. You weren't happy either, but didn't want to make a fuss. You thought it was unfair that Cove had to sleep on the floor. A loaf of fox loaf. And I'm fine with the arrangement. As long as you had a place to rest your head. From some description, it didn't bother you. All right, you lot. Does everyone have everything they need? Tim, you're all sleep. Yeah, no, my sleep schedule has been broken. I need to fix it. And Link is an insomniac, like a heavy one. So yeah, Link can't go to sleep right away. I at least can find sleep. But it doesn't help that I'm a bit of an insomniac myself. A bit. Not a lot, but not as bad as Link. Anyways, we're heading out in 5 minutes. Now's the time to double check you don't want to forget something important. Yeah. I know Link at this point. I know Link so well. Anywhoosies. At the word, Elizabeth yelped and dashed back into the house, her bedhead hair bouncing behind her as she went. Ma came over and gave you a smile, settling her hands on her hips. How about you, Dawn? Do you have all your clothes packed? Toiletry, deodorant, floss, anything else you can think of? You were comfortable, you know. You weren't sure about that. You know what, we'll do I'm not sure about that because I normally do a double check before I leave. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember what. Ma chuckled and gave you a squeeze on the shoulder. I'll get like that on the trips too. So I've learned to pack extra in case or anyone else forgets. With the amount of supplies we stuff into the RV, I think we'll be okay if it's only a few days after all. Thanks, Ma. With a few minutes left to spare before leaving, you mentally went over what you packed for the trip. Clothes, pillows, and a blanket. Usual day-to-day gear for most people. You also had more personal things, such as portable game console, pencil and paper, your favorite stuffed animals. I wonder what that will be. A couple of things to read. Bag full of makeup. Ah, yes, a bag full of makeup. A ball, your camera, an MP3 player with headphones. It's a road trip, not a camping trip, so portable game consoles. What sleep? The drive to Redwood National Park would make an entire day. Hey, one way, so you wanted to make sure you had a way to entertain yourself while traveling there and back. Pencils and paper. Sleep is good though. Yeah, a pencil and paper though. You had to be prepared in case you saw something to sketch at the park, or if you had to write anything down, or if you need to pass the time just doodling. Okay, I will be real. I still sleep with stuffed animals and I'm 21. Feels so good after you shower too. I'm a night shower. I'm a whenever I can get into the shower kind of guy, oddly. Anyways, I'm gonna grab my. I would also have my favorite stuffed animal. I wonder what that is. It's not like it's a fox or anything, chat. I swear I don't have a problem. With all fails, it always made you feel more comfortable whenever you went somewhere new. It was like taking a little piece of home away with you. Damn, let's be honest. If you got turned into a fox, it would make your whole day. Yeah, no. If I was able to turn into my actual avatar, it would make my day. A couple things to read. That is funny enough. Actually, true. I do bring stuff to read. You had packed one of your old favorites and new ones you never tried before. You knew you would have plenty of time for them on such a long drive. And an MP3 player with headphones. With so much time going to spend driving in that car, you wanted to make sure you were able to have some music to put on. And that's pretty much it. So yeah. Hey, let me take that for you, Don. I'll show it in this RV. There's a few spots left it will fit. You let Kara take your bags and gave her a grateful smile. With nothing left to do, you watched the others get ready for the trip. Oddly, I wish I could sleep. That'd be great. It's at the point where I've kind of had to learn to read Link's misspelling. And Link, you spelled great wrong. We were in a VC and we were like, how do we spell great? And I spelled great correctly. Wouldn't it make everyone's life better if there... Yes, it would honestly make it a little bit better. But we're not in that world, sadly. Kara and Cliff seem to have most energy of anyone. They were finishing packing the suitcase away while your moms had gone to lock up the house. I'm pretty sure Link has. It does not work on Link. They high-five whenever another one got crammed into the storage compartment of the vehicle. Even though your own parents were more low-key than Coves, you could tell they were both excited for the trip. It had been a while since your family has been away anywhere together. Yeah. Alyssa skipped towards the RV, a bag slung over her shoulder, and you were surprised to see she seemed more optimistic about the whole ordeal now. Girl's on her period. You cannot tell me she is on her period with mood swings. Usually she wasn't one to exit the confines of her room unless it was for TV or food or leave her family behind to be with friends. IPOP due to its life. That is fair. But damn, that sucks. That's a fair thing, oddly. Um, you would have thought 3 whole days packed in an RV with 6 others would be too much for her, but it was a nice surprise. You suppose any vacation was better than no vacation in her mind. Girls, oh my lord. You cannot tell me she was nudie to like everybody, and now she's optimistic about this trip. Like, mood swing much? Cove has been pretty quiet so far, and more than anything seems to be overwhelmed by the situation. You were excited for the trip too. You weren't very excited for the trip either. Lol and damn. You were eager to get to the destination. You're curious about the RV. You didn't feel much either way about the plans. I'm excited for the trip. I'm always excited for road trips. I will be real. It was great to get away and explore new places. Soon, the miscellaneous remaining things had all been wrapped up. This is actually a nice RV for this design. Everyone piled into the RV. It was officially time to for the trip to start. I mean, not wrong, Don. Yeah, I'm not wrong. And it did. Cliff took the first shift driving. He cautiously navigated the massive car out of the narrow neighborhood streets. It was touch and go for the first part of the journey. Your mom and Kara had all handled the front, trying to view how much space they had on each side. Henry, I may be sick. Oh no, Link. My condolence. This fox gives you condolence and feel better. If I personally find you doing something and you're still sick, Link, I will find you and tell you to rest. Anyways, there was a sense of relief when the first long leg of the trip was hit and the RV would only need to go down one stretch of highway for miles. The mom group cleared out of the driver's area, leaving Cove's dad to do it, taking more comfortable seats from around the main cabin. You felt like you could actually relax too. Time slipped by as the morning faded away. Jeez, it's bright! Ah, it's bright. It just got bright all of a sudden. Before you realized it was the engine of the RV came to a stop, but only halted for a few moments as Cliff climbed out of the driver's seat and Mom took over. Not allowed. Nah, no, you won't. I'll give it to you. Hey, if you give it to me, that's my fault, but you need sleep. Flashbang. Yeah. My eyes. You can't even see the road. That's the problem. Ma was sitting shotgun giving Mom a quick tutorial on the consoles, as it was her first time driving anything this large. Clifford groaned as he headed towards the rest of you, stretching his arm above his head and loosening up his muscles. Of course, he's got the most cringy sunglasses in the world, but hey, I'm blind. We're making good progress. Yeah, maybe we should take a nap in the back while that long haul you just did. I know you're on less sleep than usual. Cliff waved a hand, that trademark grin of slipping into place. Nah, I don't need sleep. I still got a few miles in the old tank. I don't need sleep. I need work. No, you need to rest if you're sick, Lincoln. You don't need to sleep. Just rest. He flexed an arm, showing off his muscles to drive. The point about how resilient he was home, and Kyra rolled her eyes in amusement. Gotta keep the grind up. And I won't let Link have the grind up. I'm going to make sure he rests. Dad, everybody has to sleep. Cove shook his head at the tough guy act, though Cliff simply chuckled and ruffled his son's hair. Exactly. No, Link, you're gonna get rest. I don't care if I have to go all the way to where you live, because I will ask friends for your address, and I will find you. You know what friends will probably give me an address just to help you get some rest.
So?
Are you going to be driving again anytime soon, Mr. Holland? I want to know so I can prepare. Damn! Girl's already clocking Cove's dad. Did anyone pack some rope? I might need it. There's no seatbelts up in here. honestly, I will be brutally honest. I'm with Elizabeth on this one. I don't trust Cliff's driving. Elizabeth called down from where she was lounging in the loft above the driving compartment. She was laying on her back, her hair falling to her shoulders, falling to the side and swinging around the RV as the RV started up again and took down the road. A bag of potato chips were balanced on Elizabeth's stomach, and she tossed a couple in her mouth right as Cliff held his hand to his chest, pretending to be offended by the remark. Kyra laughed lightheartedly. The RB. Okay, see you, Link.
Don't worry about that.
Lucky for us, we have enough adults to cover the shifts today. He won't be driving again until tomorrow. Cliff's the type of dad to wear a blindfold while driving only because he would look cool. Damn. Yeah, nope. Lucky for us. Oh, wait. Yeah, we already. You stay quiet. You shook your head. Riveting. Phew, that's a relief. Just enough time to write up my last will in the testament. We shouldn't gang up on the poor guy. It's not his driving I'm worried about. Yeah, you know what? Just enough time to write up my last will and testament. Not you two. The rest of the group laughed while Cope pouted, and you gave him a apologetic shrug. Mom then shouted back in her seat to join the conversation, a playful smile tilting her lips. What I'm more worried about is this old monster getting us there and back again before falling apart. Also listening to you while making a little F1 Lego is nice. Hey, I actually do have a Lego F1 sitting on my desk. Like a Lego F1 car. It's a Ferrari. So yeah, I do have a Ferrari Lego F1 set. Anyways, it looks as though it was built in the early 90s. It must be older than some of the occupation. That's just the aesthetic of the decor. It's not that old, I think. Kara, you think? Did you ask what year the model was before you rented it? Kara wrinkled her nose in thought.
Hey!
Yes, I did. I just can't remember what the answer was. Cliff chuckled at her, while the rest of you let out a collective sigh. Darby lurched a little as it picked up speed, and you held onto the ladder to the loaf to keep your balance. Welcome back, Link. You felt something graze the top of your head before a widening settle on your blue hair. Then you tilt your chin up carefully to look. Your head and rustling of the bag of chips, and realize Elizabeth had rested the end of it on your head. Yeah, Audley's doing like us right now. She gestured to the opening, slightly offering to share her snack. Oh, my sister is willing to share her snacks with me? What? Hey, hello? Who are you? What have you done to my sister? Where's the bratty sister I know of? An F1 car is my guess. I don't know which F1 car though. I take a handful. Reach up, you scoop some chips. After that the weight of the packet left your scalp. You happily munched away as the conversation continued on, and you got closer and closer to your destination. Yeah, I got myself 4 of them. They are like really small. Also, they are F1 cars. Yeah. I can make them like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so it's like the small packs, I guess. Oh, whoa. Guys, we're not blinded no more. Chat, we are not blinded no more. It is now dark again. The day flew by with the group of your... The day flew by with the group of you chatting, playing games, and passing the time together before finally arriving the park and setting up for the night. Ma was the closest to the windows while everyone got ready for bed, saying goodnight to the others as she makes her way to the back of the room. You had all had dinner together while still driving, and some hours after had arrived at your destination and found a spot to park in the rest of your stay. Person I need is here. Okay, see you in a bit, Link. Giving a look across the front of the RV, you notice almost everyone there was already dozing off where they were, and Cove have completely fallen asleep, curled up in the passenger seat. He must have done so while Kara was driving the last leg, and they had discreet not to disturb him. Kara herself was the only one who was still awake, flipping through a magazine next to the portable light from her spawn on the couch. It seemed Mr. Holland needed to sleep despite his claim. You followed your mom to the back of the room and closed the door behind you before crawling into bed in between them. It was a queen-size bed, so there wasn't enough space for the 3 of you together without too much squishing.
Good night.
Have a good rest, Dawn. We got a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
That's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to the bushwalk in the morning. It's been a long time since I was out there in nature like this. There will be plenty to see. You stayed awake for a little longer while your moms whispered about park and forest in general. With the sounds of their voice in the background, eventually you nodded off to sleep. The next morning, you were up bright and early, prepared for the day ahead. You sleep well, you slept okay, you slept terribly. I would say I would sleep okay. It was nothing compared to your bed at home, but at least you didn't have to sleep on the floor, so you couldn't complain so much. Actually, I can actually sleep on the floor and be completely fine with sleeping on the floor. Like, I've learned to sleep on the floor and get used to it. Ma whined about the firmness of the mattress, but Mom had only encouraged her to enjoy the trip while she could. While looking for a spot to get ready, you had some trouble finding a space of your own, as the others were doing the same thing. Cove was perched on top of the counter, brushing his hair and tucking up his leg every tucking up his legs every time someone wanted to move past. The parents were double checking and triple checking that you had everything, to the point where you had to stop listening to them altogether. Damn. You knew you wouldn't be returning to the RV all day that day, but the look of the backpacks that were packed up and ready to go, you doubt anything was missing from them. This is a beautiful picture of the Redwood National Park. It didn't take much longer until you all exit the RV, bustled, and headed into Redwood National Park. Wow. Cove's wearing his jacket, chat. He's wearing his jacket that I gave him back at the beginning of this portion of the series. Cove had his head tilted forward, the canopy trees, his eyes wide as he looked into the massive trunks on either side of you. You knew that the redwood trees here would consider the tallest trees on Earth, but you weren't prepared to exactly how huge they would be in person.
Come on.
Smile, you two! You stunned just in time for Kara to snap a picture of you and Cove together before she pointed to her camera. Cliff, trying to get a shot, dissipate his weak protest that she should just enjoy the moment. Your parents were walking behind the group a little, while Mom and Ma telling Ma some information she has read about the park in a brochure. Ma listened happily while looking around and taking in the sights every now and then. And even asking questions or making jokes about something Ma has said. You smiled at them, thinking your mom must have read a lot of pamphlets to know so much about the park. Yep. Maybe you should come and work here as a tour guide if you know so much about the place. Oh. Elizabeth teased, earning a squeeze on the nose from your mom. She seemed to enjoy herself, but though that might just be because she was amazed by everyone else's reaction. You were in awe at the... You were in a good mood. That the adults were being touristy. I love how that's it. I'm always in a good mood when I'm camping, chat. That's guaranteed. That is something I will guarantee. I'm always in a good mood. When I'm out in the forest, when I'm away from social media and computers and electronics in general, I'm in a good mood. The air was fresh and clean, and it was nice to be outdoors with people you love most. You were certain that this was only the beginning of what would be a great day. The adults had decided on some small nature walks rather than any serious hiking. And you strolled along at your own pace, taking in the scenery. Oh, it's the kids, it's the the trio of kids. Between four parents, Elizabeth sped up a little, smirking at Cove as she fell into place between the two of you, and immediately you could tell by her expression she was going to say something taunting. Oh no, she's gonna make fun of her. I can't believe our families are actually on vacation together. She threw her arms out, speaking in a genuine sense of bewilderment. I would have joked about something like this happening, but now I'm not sure. I want to give them I'm not sure I want to give them any more ideas. Damn. Cove smiled at her, even if it was a little awkwardly, and continued walking along. Just watch. Next year, they'll be talking about their next new amazing idea. She put on a fake voice deeper than her own. Okay, see ya, Audley. We should just sell both our house and move in together. Think how much we would save on the mortgage. It was clear that Elizabeth was being sarcastic, but Cove simply shook his head, not really bothered by her. You suppose he was used to it by this point. But seriously, they really do act like we're a single family just because we live across the street from one another. Welcome back, Link. Elizabeth gave you and Cove a look, her eyes glinting and mischievous as she leered at you.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we will be related illegally anyways. Elizabeth, quit trying to spoil the plot. She said it as though she was the gossip old lady. Of course. But she almost immediately dropped the tone nonchalantly. Ask her real thoughts. I swear, people are stupid sometimes. Oh nope. Link has issues with people unless you're talking about Elizabeth here. At least think what Ma thinks. Cove still blushed, which made Elizabeth smile triumphantly, as though that was her whole purpose for teasing him. Then he muttered quietly, refusing to make eye contact with either of you. I don't know why you think you're so funny. No one else does. No, IRL. Yeah, I had a feeling. You told her to cut it out already. Cove has a point. It wasn't a great comment. I'll marry you, Cove. You ignore Elizabeth. You're embarrassed. My thought would be screaming, I'll marry you, Cove. But I would actually just state I would probably be embarrassed. Why did she always have to say things like that? It wasn't fun, and she knew it. After no further replies, your sister walked ahead. You and Cove swapped uncomfortable looks. The day continued on with plenty to see and experience. You passed a few different You pass a few different activities that you could have liked to try out if you had time, such as kayaking and rock climbing, but Moss said that would have to wait for another trip. Rip. There was a little stem about a little stream during the walk that you sat beside and set out a picnic for lunch, nibbling on sections of fruit, sandwiches, and chips. Various birds flew by overhead, and you made a game out of guessing the species that were hanging out in the trees nearby. You even managed to get a couple of them right, including the kingfisher that grabbed half of Cliff's sandwich. How would I know that? How would I know that in general? You were glad you get to do this in the end. You were disappointed to only have one day in the park. You thought the long trip isn't worth only one day here. You had more fun hanging out in the RV. You hadn't had a good time on this trip. I would state this is not worth a one-day trip. This would need to be a multi-day trip. What you saw today was only a fraction of what the park offered, and you wondered why Cove's parents hadn't planned a longer trip. You sigh quietly to yourself, wondering if you get a chance to come back. Your group made it back to camp just as the sun was setting in the sky and the stars appeared one by one. Everyone had enjoyed different parts of it most. You traded stories, what you thought while you were eating dinner. Then after you pinched in to help clean up. You, along with Elizabeth and Cove, got to head back in the RV early and spend time together while the parents stayed outside longer. It was nice to have space to yourself after the camp journey there, and while Cove had Elizabeth locked herself in the back room with her headphones. You and Cove were left in the main lodge area. I hung out with Cove, let's be real. I guess we should figure out something to do. You took a seat on the sofa while Cove sat down on the other end, taping his fingers against his knees. I said taping, it's tapping on. Your cheeks warmed a little at that and butterflies in your stomach. Your stomach were out in full force tonight. You've seen Cove nearly every day for the past 5 years, but seeing him in a jacket was still somewhat unusual. In Southern California, he could get away with that. It was simply different from his normal style, yet you couldn't help to notice the way he looked. It made you feel incredibly awkward to be thinking such things. Why did you have to be like this? When Cove cleared his throat, your eyes snapped to his. He had a eyebrow raise and clearly caught you staring at him.
What?
Is everything okay? You bent your gaze from him entirely. Yeah, don't worry about it. You look good in the jacket, that's all. Yeah, everything is really good. You nodded, saying nothing. I'm a sip. Cove immediately blushed at the unexpected compliment. He didn't say anything in return, and you thought you should explain further. You know, I hardly ever see you wearing a jacket, especially in summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like wearing a few layers as possible. It's easier that way. I'd rather be cold than extra hot. And it's it's kind of a pain to carry extra clothes around. My parents made me bring this jacket. Damn. I'm the same way. I don't mind either way. I love wearing layers. I love layers and accessories too. I would do that. It's probably why I have a closet almost filled to the brim at home. Totally did not look at my closet. Cove smiled lightly at you and nodded. I've noticed. You perked up hearing that. He noticed too? You changed the subject. You asked him what he likes to. You ask him what he likes to see others wear. So, what type of stuff do you think looks great on somebody else? Not for yourself. Cove's eyes widened at the question, and his defense reply seemed to slip out, but he had the chance to ever be proper to think about it. Nothing. That was funny. You paid no mind. That's funny. A short laugh escaped you. You stopped yourself quickly with a hand pressed against your mouth.
Come on.
Come on, that's not what I meant. You compose yourself and sat up straighter. All traces of laughter dissipate from your face. Answer with what you meant. Then, isn't there anything anything at all you think looks good on when you see it on someone else? I can read. Cove mumbled something under his breath, but you couldn't quite catch the words. He was having a difficult time with the subject. It was a topic that made him uncomfortable, so you let it go. You had enough fun. So you're not very good at these conversations, are you? I swear I won't make fun. I just think it would be fun. Yeah, no, I would not make fun of you. It's not really it. Cove seemed pretty grumpy at the statement, but you weren't ready to give up so easily. Please! Cove sighed and looked down at his lap, where he fidgeted with his hands, still reluctant to give an answer.
I
don't know. You made it an unpressed sound over how it was going. Are you sure? Fine, I guess I kind of like ankle bracelets. Ankle bracelets? Yeah, everyone can wear a pretty bracelet. Wrist ones are cool too, but they're pretty normal. I totally did not look at my bracelets on my arm. There's something fun or flirty about flirty. Excuse me, sir. About ankle bracelets.
I mean,
It's more special or something. I don't know how to explain it. Cove brushed his knuckles against his cheeks awkwardly, seeming unsure where to go from here. Thanks for answering. I like them too. Out of everything in the world, you pick that. So you think they're sexy?
what?
What? No, I can't believe you would even use that word to describe it. Cove had been absolutely scandaled by your statement, and you could only laugh. And he said nothing else. You took a moment to gather your own thoughts. You had to get an ankle ASAP. Maybe you wear your ankle one more now. Maybe you won't wear your little so often. You thought of buying your own. You were happy to hear more about Cove, but didn't really really change anything. I am such a soap. You needed to see how Cove would react to that. Cove looked away, again, feeling awkward about this. Okay. You gave him an understanding look, and usually he would start to smile, like normal again. But not this time. His expression only stiffened more. You were surprised to see him like this, as he always bounced back pretty quickly after being flustered. Cove still he wouldn't look at you, and now even his breathing has grown tense. It's beginning to click. He was trying to build himself up, enough to say something hard for him. You waited for it silently. Until finally he peeked your way through the corner of his eyes. You were fully attentive by this point for whatever he was going to mention next.
That's
People having yellow eyes. That's also something like So wait, am I hearing that my fox golden eye is what Cove is attracted to? Oh, ooh, uh. Huh? For a moment, you were stunned at the complete loss of words. That was definitely not where you imagined it was going. Cove faced you head on. His expression, oh geez, full of dissipating meaning. You got distracted and impressed. He didn't choose that just because he liked the color yellow. He chose it entirely because it was your eye color. I'm not blushing, Chad. You're blushing. Was he trying to flirt with you? That was all you could think. Your legs felt like jelly, and you wondered if you might fall right on the couch. What do you like in another person, Don? Muscle, hair, glasses, blue eyes, everything about you. I'm a simp. Cove rubbed his arm aggressively, but then stopped suddenly when he noticed what he was doing. Like yours. Cove blushed a deeper shade of red, and his mouth fell open, acknowledging that you had specifically. How do you say that? Him straight out. I don't know how to say that word. Now you were both flirting with each other. He placed his hand on his lap and looked down. It seemed he hadn't accepted to get this far and didn't know where to go from here. With the topic abruptly dropped off, Cove officially had more to say on it. The parents all arrived soon after, each of them climbing in the RV and finding some place to sit down and rest their legs. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out of the room for the first time since arriving and joined you all. You spent the evening chatting and playing a few games, enjoying the last evening of the trip together. Bedtime arrived within the blink of an eye as the group hunkered down for the night. Your mom did a final round to be sure nothing had been left behind. She explained that Cliff was going to start driving early in the morning like on the first day, but would be letting everyone else in the group sleep. Where sleep there would be a bit of there wouldn't be a need for all of them to get up. Now the time to check you hadn't left anything outside. You, as well as everyone, were confident that you had packed up inside the RV, which meant it was time to get some rest before the journey home tomorrow. Your mom and Elizabeth said goodnight, heading into the back room, while you climbed up to the loft. Cove and his family got situated below in the previous night. Purely set arrangement. You tried to get comfortable as a million thoughts were running through your mind. It was hard to believe that the trip was practically over, and before you knew it, you were back in your own bed at home. You enjoyed the mini adventure. You realized the trip. You felt like the trip. It was a good mini adventure. I cannot say no to an adventure. Oh. Okay, my second screen went down for a second, chat, but it's now back up. It was a short, that was for sure, but you got to see and do so much during your time here. All in all, it was a nice breakaway from home. The minute trickle ticked by silently. It didn't take long for the soft snore of Cliff and Kara to drift up to you. They were asleep now. You wondered if Cliff was still awake, but decided to poke your head out from the loaf to find out. You blinked through the dark. Looking down, you noticed Cove laying back his head, his eyes staring straight up in the ceiling. His sea-foamed hair was spread out on his sleeping bag. He must have felt you watching him, because suddenly his eyes locked onto yours. It was difficult to see how much in the dim light, but you could make out the crooked smile on his face well enough. Make a silly face at him. Cove rolled his eyes, or at least you thought he did. I just started to come over. Cove looked unsure about it, but you were happy to see him slowly start to sit up anyways. His sleeping bag rustled as he moved, though he tried to go slow and froze up like a deer in headlights every time he made a sound, watching his parents for any sign of movements. Eventually he managed to maneuver around his sleeping dad and make it to the ladder, swinging on the bottom rung like he looked up and whispered, "What?" "Hi, oh, it's nothing. Good night. How are you doing?" I invite him up to the boat. "Do you want to come up?" His eyes widened just so, and you could only tell because he had to come where you were. Colm glanced behind him quickly at his sleeping parents before turning back at you. "Okay." You broke out in a grin and scooched back as far as you could, making space for Cove to crawl in. He was very tall, so it wasn't a great fit for him. He managed to squeeze himself in. Even if you weren't exactly tall, the loaf was still a tight squeeze with the two of you together. You laid back down next to each other on your side, face to face. He got under the blanket a bit. One of his arm was nested under his head for comfort and had nowhere to go. Back, what did I miss? Nothing much, just a bit of flirting with me and Cove. That's kind of the major thing you really miss, was just me and Cove flirting with each other. Cove spoke to you softly. So, what am I doing here? I thought you could hang out. Ooh. Cove, eyebrows dipped. He probably thought you had something more important than that going on. I'm not sure about this. Oh, we just set the mood. Cove swallowed loudly, and you notice he wouldn't look you in the eyes anymore. You were feeling nervous too. You felt comfortable being close to him. His reaction made you happy. I felt comfortable. I feel comfortable with him. It seemed natural to have him near you. And being close like this only made it better. You thought back to earlier in the evening when you and Cove have been talking alone on the sofa. He'd definitely been flirting then. And now you were here. You lay silently. You tried to ease things with conversation. You nudged him closer. You touched his arm lightly. I'm a sip. Okay, chat. You laid your finger on Cove's arm, feeling the warmth of his skin beneath them. Cove's face flushed darker, darker though, to notice even in almost pitch black RV cabin. The hand rests in front of him tightly, balling into a fist. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I'm not dying or anything. Cove's eyebrows bent up nervously, which his smile widened. He curled himself deeper into the loft and closer to you. He looked away as he did it. There was almost no space left between he and you. Cove's breath tickled the side of your face. For a moment, you stayed together like that. Neither of you spoke a word. When your eyes locked again, Cove seemed to almost taken aback by the situation, as thought it hadn't completely hit him what it was going to feel like to do this until just now. He opened his mouth to say something, but shut it tight before anything came out. You went to sleep how you were. You moved back. You snuggled against him. You leaned in to kiss him. Chat, do we try and kiss him? Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do this because I'm going to save this version up to this point because I want to see like snuggling against him, because I'm pretty sure depending on like what you do, it changes the story, obviously. But I'm kissing him, chat. I'm going to kiss him. You moved in even closer, eyes half closed, as your lips inched towards his so slowly. Up to you, bro. Cove froze immediately. You could tell his body trembled against you as you neared. As you grew closer enough to be one motion away from placing your lips together. Then all at once, he bolted up, completely forgetting the restriction of the location, and smacked his head against the roof of the RV with a loud crack. making you guess aloud. Ah, no, Cove! Ow! Cove, are you okay? Cove didn't answer. He fell back to the loft floor, in a flustered pile. He pressed one hand against his head and the other over his face, groaned in pain. The sound and movement in the RV below startled you. And then when you looked over to the side, you noticed Clifford had suddenly shot up and was looking around wildly.
What's wrong?
Wake up, people, something's happening. Cliff, don't ruin the moment. Cliff reached over to where Kara was on the couch, and she whined as he shook her out of a sleeping deep, enough not to be interrupted by the chaos. What's going on? Then the lights came on, and you scrambled under the blankets to avoid being seen, but it was too late. Cove, what are you? Dawn, are you? Oh. It only took a second for Kara to figure out, to realize her son had gone, and you heard Cliff chuckle as he realized too. I swear, officer, we weren't doing anything bad. You weren't warned. There wasn't much room up there, bud. You were warned. There wasn't much room up there, bud. Cove groaned terribly again, but this time it was out of humiliation. He moved his hand from his sore scalp, also covered his shame, rather than face his parents.
Hey!
What's with all the noise out here? To your horror, the door at the back of the RV opened, and Elizabeth as well as your mom's, peeked their heads out into the hall. Is everything okay?
Sorry.
It's nothing. Sorry for waking you up. Cove, you are too wholesome, boy. Cove curled into himself, completely humiliated, as his unapologetic a couple more times. Not loud enough for anyone other than you to hear, though. I just check about him. I can't laugh. Cove, are you okay, Cove? Without a whimper, Cove pushed himself up onto his side. Not really. I should probably get Mom to look at it. Kara casually came on over the edge of the loft. She patted her son on the back. Come to Mama, baby. You can't stay there. There was no putting it off. Cove climbed down the ladder, his face still red as a tomato. When he reached the bottom, his dad gave him a nudge on the shoulder as he passed, trying to hold back renewed laughter. And his mom pulled him over, give his head a quick look over. After announcing it wasn't anything more serious than a bump, Cove scuffled over to his sleeping bag on the ground. He collapsed into it, not caring if he should be more cautious with his head right now.
Sure.
Alright, show's over. Let's all get some sleep. You can hear snicker from the back of the RV from your mom and Elizabeth. They really had been watching this unfold like it was a piece of entertainment. But at that, they quickly said goodnight and headed to bed. With nothing more you could do, you lay back down as the lights went off again. You stayed there completely still until sleep finally took over you. When you woke up the next morning, it was to the rumble of the RV. It was traveled a long journey home, blinking the sleep from your eyes as you peek over the edge of the lost, slowly trying to be seen. Cove was sitting on the couch with his mom, the two of them talking together. His head was hung low. You blush when you remember what it was like last night. Just the two of you up in the loft together, and the way you almost kissed. Kairos suddenly looked up and caught your eye, and your face grew even hotter, though she simply smiled at you. You knew it was going to be a long, long time before lives, either of your lives, this you lived this down, if you ever did. Dot dot dot. Soon your moms and Elizabeth emerged from their room and dresser already and ready for the day for the travel. Blinded again, chat. You spend most of the day hanging out together in the RV, soaring the last few hours of vacation. Kara suggests a few different travel games she used to play with Cove when he was younger, and you all had a great time competing against each other. A little later in the day, you tried to talk to Cove about what happened in the loft, but he simply apologized and changed the subject. Oh, it was a bit too much for him to try and speak on, especially right now. You understood. Flashbang. Oh, we don't have to worry about it no more, chat. When the RV pulled into the street, it was, well, into the night, and you were looking forward to crawling in your own bed after the last few days away. Everyone else must have been feeling the same, because it was mutually agreed that unpacking and cleaning the RV would wait until morning. Once home, again, you went straight up to your room, dropped into your bed. I just hit my steering wheel again and snored it all. You were happy to have your own bed. It felt weird to being alone. It felt good to be alone. You wish you were still on the trip. You miss being near Cove. I miss being near Cove. I'm sorry. The two of you had basically lived together for 3 days. It was nice, but you knew that it wouldn't be the last time you two would spend the time together, and you thought comfort you. With those last few thoughts drifting through your mind, it wasn't long before you dozed off to sleep. Tomorrow, life go on like normal. And that was Road Trip! I almost kissed my future husband! Okay, I am going to try and speedrun Maul on birthday, but I guarantee Maul's gonna be done. I don't know what about, birthday, but Maul is gonna be guaranteed. So let's get started with Maul. Lee's visit today turned out to be more involved than you expected. After overhearing where the Holland family was going, Lee insists on seeing Mr. Holland's shop firsthand. An hour later, and Lee was busy looking at everything on display. Because Ko's dad offers supplies, lessons, and tours, his shop had all the scuba related stuff that you can imagine. Fins, masks, suits, and even snorkels. After circling around the shop, you finally stopped and looked at the whole room. I would state that I've been here for many. It was pretty much. The shop was familiar to you, as your own neighbor was practically another extension of home. You were still bursting with excitement. You were in good spirit. This was a pleasant surprise. You enjoy showing Leah around the shop, doing this as better than just telling her about it. Lee was still busy poking through the various wetsuit displays, so you decided to see what Derek and Cove were doing. They were too absorbed in their conversation to notice you standing near them, leaning against the counter. You were able to pick up the topic quickly.
Anyway,
My dad told me the new stuff is selling like crazy. Yeah, the material has this new blend with less nelly pour. My dad says people are really interest in it. It brought a smile to your face hearing that shop was doing well. I decided to join the convo. Those wetsuits with the bright colors are probably popular too. I haven't seen many with the style in other places.
Right?
Right? Like those ones.
Maybe.
Some of them might be too bright. I don't think the point of scuba diving is drawing a lot of attention to yourself. Maybe people just wear them on the beach, just stand out to help there. Your family could always spot you. Cole smiled at Derek positively. But really, there's just so much you think, so much to think about and with a business. It's crazy. No matter how much I come, I still don't get it. Cove hummed and nodded in agreement, causing a good, humble, humored laugh from Derek. I thought you only liked the scuba diving part, not a job part. It was the best part. There's just the best part. I think about other things too.
I gotcha.
Cool. The business side, running it. That's my favorite. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught movement, and you realized Lee was standing next to you. When your dad retires, do you guys think you're going to carry on the store? Both sons shrugged in unison.
Well,
There's tons of things I could do. My dad thinks so too. He doesn't want me to plan on working here forever. Cove gaze fell onto the floor. You could see the conflict flashing across his face.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot. It's a lot. Being the real boss sometimes and totally in charge. I would definitely say something like this. Derek smiled in an equal parts happiness and bashfulness. He bounced on his feet a bit. Thanks, Don. I'm happy you believe in us. Me too. Kel's parents left the back office and came across, catching your attention. Sorry, kids. It looks like it's going to be a long one. I know usually the other holds the fort down, but I really need to stay here today. I know you just want a little visit. It's gonna be boring being stuck all day because Kara can take my car and go back to the neighborhood. Cove and Derek gave him an understanding look. Mr. Holland crossed his arms and flashed you all a big smile, trying to lift the mood. The one condition is that someone has to remember to come back for me later. You know, you don't get to strand me here, no matter how funny it might be. Kara laughed, giving him a thumbs up. Mr. Holland seemed satisfied with that. He moved on with the expression. Derek, your dad also has his hand full today, so he doesn't have time to run you back home.
It's okay.
It's all right, sir. The title "Sir" got a war chuckle out of Cliff, which was cut short when Kara elbowed him teasingly.
What do you think?
So, you ready? You're already set. I can borrow the car. Why don't I take the kids somewhere fun for the afternoon?
Absolutely.
That is fine with me. Just please come back eventually. Sometime today, Kara. After multiple jokes about being left with no ride, you had to wonder if that actually happened in the past together. It probably has. I would believe so, Chad. For you, my good sir, I swear, cross my heart. Happy to be with the promise, Cliff took out his back wallet and offered a $50 bill to Kara. Here, in case you need gas or anything else while you're out. Kara smiled knowingly and accepted the bill without hesitation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cove hand snuck the wallet back into his back pocket while he waved with a free hand. Okay, time for me to jump back into work. Have fun for me. Bye, Dad. Bye. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, Mr. Holland. Goodbye, sirs and ma'ams. He left the room with a wink and flared, disappeared into the employees only area for the shop. When Mr. Holland was out of sight, Kara silently strolled over to the counter and carefully placed the $50 bill there. She turned back and beamed large to smile at you and the others. Come on, gang. Let's see if this town has a mall. Yeah! Yes! Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy while Cove and Derek just grinned. There wasn't a mall in your hometown, but Mr. Holland's store wasn't in Sunset Bird. It might be possible to find a mall out here. I felt pumped. Let's go. If you didn't show your enthusiasm much, but you definitely feel it. Let's go. She quickly headed the group out of the store and into the car. Also, I don't know if you consider this flashbang.
Cove.
As the driver, I get to choose my partner in crime. Naturally, I bestow the position of shotgun to my baby. Her comment had both Derek and Lee snickering. Cove was sure embarrassed over the parsing and blatant favorism, but he took the seat by his mom without complaint. I decided to join I would joke about it, the special treat. It's not fair. No one else had a chance to get it. You got a hearty laugh out of Kara. Sorry, you'll get where I'm coming from when you start driving. You continue to tease and poke back. You understand when you're older was the worst excuse. I'll take middle seat. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want a window seat. You two can have them. Are you cool with that? You thought it was odd that anyone would give up the window seat, but you knew Derek tried to escape. Be especially polite when he's a guest. You nodded.
Fantastic.
Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement. Everyone squeezed into the car, buckling in, and Kara turned the radio on. She set it to the top 40s pop station. You knew you would be into it. Quickly, you recognized the song playing. It was a new one by an artist you were listening to a lot recently. ... It wasn't long until your group realized they were lost. But after driving in circles, Kara's struggle paid off when she found a local mall. There were more cheers from Lee as Kara pulled into the parking spot. Oh, this is a dang ass mall! Once your group had made it inside, the first order of business on this trip was checking what this mall actually had. Where should we go? Ooh, I think I see a makeup store ahead. She rolled up to her tiptoes to get a better view. Meanwhile, Derek was eyeing the directory. There's a chocolate shop. Seriously, we have to go there. Yes, wait. And we need to find a decent jewelry shop. I need new hair ties and brace and barnets.
Nice.
We've also got to at least look at look for a game store. There's a ton of things you can get anywhere, but a store that just has that's just for video games. Hey, what are you thinking, Cove? I want to look at the fish in the pet store. You couldn't have guessed that. You could have guessed that much. Anywhere else? He smiled with some bashfulness. The bookstore. We can go. We can go to a camping or an outdoor supply shop.
So,
What about you, Don? Ooh, clothing, accessories, makeup, video games, chocolate. Music shop, art supply, video game. Guess clothing. An accessory. Jeez. Sure, I don't mind looking at like a book. That's pretty much it. That's certainly a list. Good thing we have all afternoon. Yeah, I have my own stuff I want to make. Let's agree to regroup here at 7 p.m.
What?
You're not coming with us? We're all in the same building. It won't be as long as you think. I'll only be a few minutes away at most. You're old enough to enjoy the mall without me hovering. Okay,
See you soon.
be back here by 7. Toodaloos! Leaving Derek and Lee stunned by their newfound freedom, Kara walked off when she was almost out of sight. Derek's face twisted in confusion. Wow, she really is gone. I can't believe she just did that. This is so cool. We get to do whatever we want. Yeah, no, I'm amazed by this opportunity. I'm gonna take it. It's really exciting. With the decision already made, Derek tried to pull together his earlier enthusiasm from the trip. So, where are we going first? Time's a wasting. Whatever's closest. Things were coming together, but you realize there's been a flaw in today's southern plan. What's wrong, Don? Did everybody bring money with them?
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
I did. I always have some on me when I come all the way out here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna say I have money, even though that's a lie. Yumi felt better about the situation. It would have been a downer to not be able even to think about something that the mall caused because they didn't have money. I'm good. Now everything was squared away. You explored the mall together as a group. There were many shops that you managed to venue into so far. You all went to the music shop, leaving in your pep in your step. It was better than you thought, and there was still so much to see. After having hit many of the top priority stores, you found yourself pacing by a small booth. It was decorated with wind chimes in various sizes. You raised a shop hand up to one of the smaller ones. You sparked your attention next as Cove. You thought he was going to stop at the booth by the way he was looking at it, but he kept going. Do you want one? It wasn't until Lee asked that you realized that you stopped in front of the booth without saying anything. Lee just continued to encourage you. You should get one. I'm just looking. It's nice to check out stuff. Lee hummed in agreement, and then started past the booth, following her gaze. You saw the boys where you were already wandering too far ahead. Let's go. After leaving another clothing store, the one Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found yourself walking down the main hall of the mall again. It was long until everyone you were with had their eyes on a smoothie kosher ahead. Should we stop? Yeah. As y'all approached your eyes was drawn to Disney list of smoothie combination. A part of you wondered how long it would take to try them all. Hi there. Do you need a rundown on how this works? Yes, please. Okay, first you pick up to 3 options of fruits or berries. Then I'll add the ice and the store special smoothie base mix, and you will have your very own smoothie for $4. There's only one size. Cove leaned over the counter a bit for several moments and hesitantly studied the plentiful fruit and berry option. I want to get strawberry banana smoothie with coconut too. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting anything? Can I just get the all mango? Of course.
Thanks.
I like strawberries, blueberry, and raspberry for mine. Thanks. Shopkeeper now looks at you. I want to get one. Could I get? Ooh, orange is always a good one. Strawberry and coconut, and that was everything. At that, everyone went ahead and paid for their individual drinks. You waited over the other side of the booth where the drinks were put. When they were done, Derek bounced to his feet, excited to be ready.
Aw.
This is gonna be good. Lee chimed in with her own enthusiasm. Everybody say their smoothie base stuff can make any drink great. Cove, while quieter, looked just eager for the moment. Luckily, there hadn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collect the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Straws were placed through the opening of the top of the cup, and first tentative sips were had. Derek sighed in satisfaction after his taste. Mango is too delicious. Mine's super good too. Cove nodded, hummed, agreed. His straw was in his mouth. I'm really happy with my choice. It was perfect. Cool. We all made excellent choices today. Yeah. I'm gonna ask Cove. Cove, could I have a drink of yours? At that, Cove accidentally inhaled as he was drinking. His face was burning red and embarrassed, and from coughing from that shocked him. Dude, you okay? Derek gave Cove a few pats on the back. His hacking was only starting to slow down. I bet it ended up going the wrong way. It sucks when that happens. Lee elbowed you teasingly for a moment. She got your attention. She started laughing and just between you and Cove. A moment later, Cove was finally able to breathe normally. He wiped his mouth with his free hand. He gaze locked onto the floor. He was nervously started chewing his straw. You could tell he was torn. He didn't seem to want to say no, but he couldn't bring himself to say yes either. Derek could watch the scene anymore, drinking his own smoothie. He pretended to be fascinated by the display in the store. you grouped as was passing by. Lee hadn't stopped looking over you two. You could tell she was living for every bit of this situation. Cove, unhappy, went from Lee to Derek, all while shyly sipping his smoothie. He wondered if he was trying to will them to interfere. Feeling his stare, Derek peeked back towards Cove. The only response he offered was a understanding sigh. I gotta tease. Do you not like me? You pretend to be shocked as you look from Lee to Derek. Electric laughter from both of them. Cove bit down on his draw and shook his head. With a defeated sigh, Cove decidedly moved the hand holding his drink towards you. He invited you to process with his eyes. Leaning in, you took a sip back. It was especially sweet combination. Thanks. He nodded and brought his smoothie back closer to his body, but he didn't start drinking again.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You were satisfied with that. He wanted to ask something else for a smoothie. I was satisfied with that. As your group continued wandering the mall, you came to an area in the path that was wider. Oh dang. In the middle was a collection of quarter-operated rides on machines. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them, smiling ear to ear. I want to ride. I think we might be too big.
No way.
No way. We're not that old yet. He eagerly headed over to the machines, wanting to get a better look. Lee went along with a smile. I don't care, one way or another. Whatever, you're too big or not, it can't hurt to check it out. Conversing around Derek, you watch as he focused on the various brightly colored rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles, but there were also some horse-shaped ones. One of them could even seat 2 people. Lee leaned in closer to you and whispered a playful while pointing directly at the solo machine made for a pair. You should ride that one with Cove. Oh my eyes. Your spawn had Lee giggling. Trust me, it's a brilliant idea. Damn, Lee is trying to play. I call it helicopter. Why?
Cool.
It's the coolest, and I think it will move the most. He started digging in his pocket, pulling out whatever money he had left. Wait, is everything okay? I need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. I only have 2. There has to be more between all of us. Hold on. Pockets and wallets and purses were checked over. Derek still had 2. Cove only had 1. Lee ended up with almost 3, and you didn't have any. You can have mine. Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me. And even if it was a dumb to ride while you want. Cove shrugged while he tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Why don't we all get a one ride? Could exchange dollar bills for more quarters at a store. I won't put up. If we're not riding, we can get some candy instead. She giggly pointed to the collection of shiny gumball machines off the side of where you were all. Yeah! She just cut a smoothie and we're already went to the candy. It's good with me. I need a gumball. I could use a gum. And so the four of you sped over to the candy dispenser. After a few twists of the knobs, the group collected its loot. Lee immediately popped hers in her mouth. She smiled, felt as she watched Cove stash his gumball away in his pocket. What? It was going to get gross. It's going to get gross in your pants. She wrinkled her nose in disapproval. Cove shrugged.
I know.
But it does. But I think it'd be fine. I want it for later. Lee shook her head and turned her attention to Derek. They quickly started competing to who blew the biggest bubbles. Their serious battle had you and Cove cracking a grin in no time. It didn't even matter that none of you got ride the quarter operating machines anymore. Then you noticed something out of the corner of your eye. You tilted your head to look at it directly and burst into laughter. What's funny? You turned back to the group of people nodded in your direction of where you were looking. Isn't that one of the machines that takes dollars and gives quarters back? The kind of people who don't have quarters already? Everyone's head moved the way you saw. You're right. Derek chuckled awkwardly. That's exactly what that is.
Oh.
We're kind of dumb. We have to miss this the whole time. Come on. Let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't been everywhere yet. Here. You moved along from one store towards your neck. Still jostled from the experience. Oh, did my stream die? Did my stream die? See my stream die real quick, chat. Oh well. It seems like we got it fine. We're also getting close to the 3-hour mark, so we'll probably... Okay, yeah, so you know what? We're gonna stop here. I will save this. And put that there. So yeah, no. I'm gonna call it here. We did not finish them all. So yeah, the stories are going to be random, but obviously I will not be focusing on the final story until I know for a fact. Reminder, stream is going to be a little bit earlier next week on Tuesday, same time at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So yeah, we're going to end the stream here, chat. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. Maybe part 2 will be just finishing up this and kind of working a little bit in the next stories. Like, I won't probably do... It won't be a long stream, that's guaranteed next stream. It might be, like, up to where we have at least the last couple stories. Like, if I can take a look at, like, the save of right here. So, yeah, it'd be the rest of this. Probably birthday, and probably, like... It would be the rest of Mall, birthday, and probably the conversation, or whatever that the book one is. So yeah, this is it, chat. I'm gonna get going. I will catch you all, Foxlings, in the next stream. Foxboy out.